Podcast.io.
All right. Welcome to Gen X Rated Thursday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Pretty good. Can't believe it's Thursday already. And for the record, I like the new music. I like the new tune. I really do. You know, let the boomers think what they want. Nobody really
Zing,
cares what
shots
they
fired.
think. But yeah,
Our
I like it.
favorite. It's a little catchy, but yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. But I like it too.
Yeah, till
It
somebody
is what
wants
it is.
paid for it.
Yeah, and somebody's getting their music played. Who isn't about that?
Absolutely.
So lots happening today. None of it super. I think I'll start with some economic stuff. They did release September job numbers today. We added 119,000 jobs in September. Pretty impressive. I think they expected 51,000. So these are numbers that they're willing to share with you.
How do we know about the legitimacy of these numbers? Have the books been cooked?
It makes it really difficult. Unemployment rate did hit 4.4%, highest since 2021. And to your point, there will be no October report issued. Growth in labor markets are down. And the numbers from October would show you that we lost 1 million jobs. So,
Well, yeah, and because I was just going to say, like, if you're unemployed in October or November, I don't think you really care about the September job report. I don't think that's too relevant. So,
but they're positive numbers. But to your point, you're right. We're working at light speed here. So to look back and be like, hey, July was amazing. Did anybody appreciate that?
yeah, 1980 was an amazing year. It was great.
I know Trumpy Bear was loving it back then.
Loving the 80s.
But yeah, so since they are no longer going to supply October numbers, that's the first time since 2013 that we have no jobs report. I just feel like they're kind of prepping you for that to be the norm anymore, that this is just not a thing we're going to do.
That is what authoritarian regimes do.
You're absolutely right. Auto repossessions highest since 2009. Please remind me again what happened in 2009.
It's funny you say that because I keep getting these shorts now from the that movie, The Big Short. Are you getting any of those clips that come up? It's pretty interesting.
Well, the point is that was the financial crisis, 2009. So.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting now that I'm seeing these popping up on my YouTube feed all the time now.
Well, I'll have to look out for that.
All-Star cast.
The S&P 500 today erased $1.5 trillion with a T in market cap. That was from 10:40 a.m. to 12:20 a.m. That's $15 million per minute for 100 minutes straight.
Yeah. I'm not even going to bother to check mine.
Please don't. Most of that's the crypto collapse. So yeah, coming off the S&P 500, those are not great numbers to grow from. Some of this did stem from after JD Vance's comments about the economy being horrible. Maybe keep those thoughts to yourself.
I remember when you used to wait in the car, JD. I don't even know why you're here.
I got the Sopranos reference, okay?
I thought you might.
With haircuts, we have a hospital clinic shutting down from Georgia to Oregon. The numbers are pretty, since the big, beautiful bill, 10 million people, up to 42 million will lose their health care. And part of it is not only the rural areas, but it's just the changing of healthcare. They want to bring down the numbers by limiting who qualifies for Medicaid. They want to raise the cost of healthcare, which is under the ACA, which is going to happen when you get rid of subsidies, and then defund any family planning facility for abortion, of course, because, yeah.
I just don't understand. What do they think is going to happen when all of this occurs? Do they think something good is going to happen? Do they think they're going to score political points from people who have either seen their premiums double or just completely have to give up their coverage? I don't understand. And there's no plan. You've got nothing but time to come up with a plan.
Trump came up with a plan last night, a concept of one. Him and Aetna are working for Trump healthcare. It's I think $5.99 a month, and you can have everything you want.
Yeah, that sounds about as fishy as the Trump watch.
Trump RX, how about that?
Man, yeah, I don't know. First he goes from saying, well, why should we give the subsidy money to the big bad insurance companies? But now you're going to work with one of them and put the Trump away. What could go wrong? Sounds like a real winner.
Well, they're big bad health care insurance companies until he's part of it, and then
Yeah. Here's something. You know what? Just slap the Trump label on Obamacare. Call it Trump care and be done with it. Keep the subsidies. I mean, Jesus Christ, how stupid are these people?
Well, and to your point, these polls are starting to come out that most Americans are fearful of a civil war. They're, obviously they're afraid of or concerned about inflation and affordability, which is the big buzzword now. But they also have major concerns about the future of our democracy, which we've been hammering on for 11 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning.
The one positive out of the poll was that 88% believe that diversity makes us stronger, which is in complete contradiction to Trump and Hegseth's speech to our military, which says diversity isn't our strength. But almost 90% of Americans believe that it is. So I think that's pretty incredible. Also, no support for extremism and hate that's trying to divide our populace. So those are all very positive things.
Here's what a boob Hegseth is. Saying diversity is making us weak. Some of the most decorated soldiers in World War II were the Japanese American soldiers that fought in the Pacific. And I think some of them fought in Europe too, highly decorated veterans. The Windtalkers, the Navajo.
Yeah. Couldn't have done without them. Yes.
No. So, I mean, not only don't these people know, are they just racist and sexist, they don't even know history. They have no clue as to even what they're talking about. I mean, Jesus, diversity makes the military stronger.
You make it sound like he was a DEI hire of some sort.
He was a DEI hire. It's just insane. And not to mention, he's an alcoholic. He's a sexual abuser. And his push-ups and pull-ups, what he considers pull-ups, all look like shit.
Pretty terrible. He's got Cash Patel doing those pull-ups now too. It's
his look even worse.
Nothing you want to see. To your point about the racism, the Coast Guard today no longer classifies swastikas, nooses, and the Confederate flag as hate symbols. This is new. So now they're going to address them as potentially divisive. I found it interesting that when the press brought this up to Caroline today, she moved on. She was not going to comment on that. So,
what, little piggy didn't have an answer for that?
Oof. Too soon, Billy. Too soon.
Is it? Because you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
You make a good point. Yeah. That was a question that was asked about Trump, and she did respond to that question by saying that she loves Trump's transparency because we should all have that. And at least he says it to your face that he thinks you're a pig and whatever else. So I guess that's her take, but her exact paraphrasing was that she thinks the president being frank and open and honest to your face rather than behind your back is more respectful than the last administration that talked behind your back and then ignored you for 2 weeks. I feel like if you're willing to say it to my face, you've probably already said it behind my back.
Yeah, and how does she know what she wasn't a part of the last administration. How does she know what they were saying behind anybody's back? She was busy losing her run for Congress and running up debt that she's never going to pay off. But I mean, she's just a disgusting person. I don't know how she sleeps at night, honestly, with some of the things that come out of her mouth. She is the meanest of the mean girls. And frankly, that nose looks like a little piggy nose. And she is extremely basic. She's not even attractive in any way. And I think it's not even a physical thing. It's just her personality, and the things that come out of her mouth and the opinions she holds are highly unattractive. She's a disgusting person.
It's very off-putting, to say the least. We'll move on from her because that certainly is never going to change. We did see last night that they had the House voted 426-0 to strip that provision that was slipped in the Senate that allowed senators to sue the government for their $500,000.
Good. Yeah. Lindsey Graham got very upset about that.
Yeah, he wanted tens of millions of dollars. Let's not forget that this all stems from Jack Smith and his investigation into January 6th. It's a crime scene. All that data is available to the government to go through. There's nothing corrupt about it. It's not left-leaning. It's people actually doing their job to try and find those that are accountable. Have they gotten to Trump and his $3 million that he put in to get the people to come on January 6th? No. Have they gotten to Ginny
Thomas?
Jenny Thomas about her involvement and actually renting the buses, etc.? No. But things are starting to trickle out. The connections why Kavanaugh got his job, why these people are all in place together. You can't hide this stuff forever. And just to show a picture of what an actual sedition looks like, there you have it. Because, and I mentioned that because today, of course, where is he? Got to find Trump, but yeah, there he is. He was calling for death for the Democrats and their seditious behavior. There was a video call where members of the Senate, Mark Kelly was one of them, and Elisa Slotkin, reminding the military that you abide by the Constitution. You defend the Constitution, not an individual, not an individual's desires. This is what they were reminding them, to uphold your oath to the Constitution. So because of that, Trump felt that that was traitorous. They should be arrested and tried. And of course, in Truth Social, he put that the punishment for that is death. So now he's calling it in that regard. And then when they asked Speaker Johnson about it, he just said Trump wasn't saying them in particular. He was just giving the definition. Again, you appease him until he starts sending people over to get you. I mean, Mike Pence almost got the noose. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like what, somebody just happened to bring a
guillotine,
a scaffold with a noose on it. You know what? This is a big day. I think I'm just going to bring this along. So yeah, no, it's just insane. And I was on the doing my warm up at the gym last night, and yeah, Trump fanboy, butt boy Hannity was on there, and you can't hear it, but I could see the topic, and it was Dems committing treason, telling military to ignore Trump's orders.
No. Yeah,
no, but I mean, somebody at home is sitting there watching it, getting all outraged, and hopefully it's less people, or people that don't vote, or just people that they're old and maybe they'll be dead soon. But
maybe
it's just so disturbing. I mean, it's just propaganda in full bloom. I mean, it's just it's frightening, and it's disturbing, and it's maddening too. It really is. I think it makes you more angry than afraid, because it's just the nerve of these people.
But to your point on the fear part, that's exactly what they're trying to do. So they went into Charlotte yesterday, 2 days ago, I guess. And one example, in Charlotte, in Mecklenburg School District, they have about 141,000 students. A quarter of them are white, 30% of them are Latinos. So you had 30,000 students that skipped school to go down and protest against ICE coming out. And it wasn't just children. There were a lot of people that came out. You had the Department of Homeland Security with ICE raiding local shops. They were raiding after-school programs, just trying to pick up as many people as they could. Good luck with that. People weren't having it. They want to talk about how Charlotte citizens shouldn't have to live in fear of violent criminals and illegal undocumented individuals, but it's not working. People are coming out and they're supporting. There's a baker there that they kept raiding his bakery in a district that had a lot of Hispanics. So he stopped opening the bakery, and people supported him because he was tired of people getting taken away. You had a Puerto Rican American citizen who was arrested twice. They basically picked him up in Charlotte, drove him 20 blocks away to a parking lot, asked for his ID. Once they had it, they dumped him. Yes, he was waving a Puerto Rican and an American flag. They came back a second time and took him. But again, he's a citizen. So enough witnesses that you just can't disappear a person. Though we did pay $5.1 million to a tiny African nation to send people to.
Yeah, it's insane. It really is.
You can't hide this stuff.
And it's all based on, because, Trump and Bondi and Miller want to see 3,000 arrests every day. They're just padding their stats. That's all they're
Sure.
doing, just because they want to hit their number.
They want to
It's
beat
like
Obama.
early in World War II, before the United States got involved, when Japan invaded China, they committed all kinds of atrocities. It was horrific. It really was. And they never officially apologized for it. But there were two Japanese officers that had a contest, and it was followed very closely by the Japanese press as to who could cut off the most heads
Oh my God.
of Chinese civilians. Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of that. You're just basically, you're not chopping off heads for some meaningless statistic, but you're rounding up people because we want to see 3,000 a day. I want to see you two in jail for prison, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, but hopefully it will. We'll see. But I mean, it's just so disturbing, because you're disrupting lives, you're terrifying people, you're breaking families apart. It's so un-American and inhuman, just for random numbers to satisfy what? Fucking fat ass Trump?
Pretty much. And it keeps Homan in a job, and people paying him off to maybe stay. They called this Operation Charlotte's Web. So
yeah, they're so clever. Yeah, that what was that guy's name? Bovino, Buckvino, the guy that's running it for Border Patrol, because ICE was yeah, they turned it over to Border Patrol because ICE wasn't radical enough.
That guy's insane.
That guy is insane. I mean, caught lying on camera. Did you say that? I didn't say that. Really? Let's look at the video. Oh yeah, maybe.
Maybe I said that. Yeah, the camera doesn't lie, even though they tell you don't believe your eyes. And then we get situations like this where they're just tagging people. I don't think this protester was a threat. But again, when you have all these guys with all these guns and all this military equipment, it can be intimidating. But I do feel like, and this is North Carolina, this isn't New York City, this isn't Chicago. People are pushing back. That's a pretty blue state in general when they don't try and steal elections there. And it just doesn't seem to be working. I think people are catching on.
Yeah, again, and my understanding is they're only in there because they think that the district court there is more sympathetic and more conservative. But you know what? Even conservative judges have been pushing back against this, because it is ridiculous. And half of these guys you see, you take off their body armor and their masks and take their weapons away. Really? How tough are you going to be now? How many people are you going to push around now?
Yeah, you're right. To that point of just doing what you feel like, they made some announcements about the Department of Education, which isn't getting a whole lot of ears on it, or eyes for that matter. But they're basically dicing it up. This is Linda McMahon. And they want to shift the core responsibilities of the Department of Education into different agencies. As an example, K through 12 will be shifted to the Department of Labor.
Put those kindergartners to work.
Seems odd. Colleges and university programs will also fall under the Department of Labor, because now we're going to, we talked about this many months ago, how much money you can get a loan for professional degrees, whether it be a lawyer or medical school, and they capped all that.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're going to make decisions as to what is worthy of being able to get those loans for. So they're deciding what degrees and what jobs are worthy of it. Very strange.
That is very strange.
And this is all without Congress. None of these policies have ever been implemented and shifted without going through Congress. So these are executive orders, which isn't the law. It's not necessarily something that he can just do. But again, as an example, Native American education will fall under the Department of Interior. We saw that guy. He's not a charmer. Foreign language programs will go under the State Department. Rubio, he knows about foreign affairs, I guess. But really, is there any education in his background? Was he an educator at any point? Likely not. Child care and medical education programs will fall under HHS. Great. Meat for everybody. And then special ed students, plus your loans, will also come out of the Department of Education. So they don't know where they're going to go with that yet. Maybe it'll go under maybe Lutnick. I'm not sure. Maybe under the Treasury with Besant, who's to say. But all of this is trying to be done without Congress. And I think as a nation, we really value education. So to try and kind of splinter it and then branch everybody off between professionals and educators, it makes no sense. So my point is, pay attention because it's happening in real time.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that this will end up in court. I hope.
I would hope so too.
It should, but the one thing that all authoritarian regimes fear is an educated population.
Yeah,
they don't want people asking questions. They don't want people thinking for themselves. They want them pushing brooms, digging ditches, and doing what we tell you. And you'll think what we tell you to think.
It looks like you'll be under the Labor Department yourself there, Billy. So, it's just stuff we haven't seen before, and trying to skirt the law the way they are. He's come up with a lot of losses through the judicial departments now. The judges are pushing back strongly on many fronts. Again, that's not headline news because we're still making light of the fake news and of the liberal media, which it really isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
You're just not seeing, I don't know, left-leaning news. And I'm not saying you should be, but my point is they're just...
Well, you have to look for it. That's for sure. You really have to.
A derogatory term. So you're not going to see it in the mainstream necessarily, but we've mentioned several sources where you can find good news.
Well, and in some of the national publications, you'll see, opinion pieces written by, an actual unbiased reporter, somebody who's being, columnist, somebody who's being fair. But yeah, the overall tone isn't good. I mean, you really have to go look for it. You have to look at The Intercept. You have to look at the New Republic. I mean, Daily Kos will, send you to all kinds of stories. So
sure,
it's there. You have to find it. But yeah, a lot of it is being kind of tamped down and pushed to the background. And that is very concerning. It's very disturbing. And calling anything you don't like liberal is just ridiculous.
And shielding a lot of this information from journalists. They don't want it reported. Trump has these grand parties for the Saudi prince. You'll see the highlights of who was there just so that you can be wowed that Musk was there. And he was wearing shoes apparently that were 3 sizes too big, maybe making up for something or trying to...
Maybe he's just a clown.
Somebody, or maybe those are his clown shoes. But I think the American public's being less and less impressed by flashy crypto and meme coins and all the ridiculousness that doesn't really help any of us with our healthcare issues or our quality of wealth or jobs or fill in the blank.
Yeah, it does none of the above.
Pretty much. So it's at a snail's pace, but I do feel like the courts are doing what they're supposed to do, which is to hold the executive branch accountable for these made up nonsense. I mean, again, executive orders are not law. He's not a king. You just can't make these things up and then feel that it's law. His regime and his underlings are pushing it that way, but it's just not a thing.
Yeah. And, hopefully there are at least maybe some people in this regime or in the White House that are slow walking some of this stuff and just waiting till Peepaw changes his mind and he's distracted by something else. Or, they turn him back and put him towards the Ballroom Project.
Well, that was another thing, the Ballroom Project. Elizabeth Warren's asking for that to be investigated. A judge did halt construction on the new ballroom just because of how the funding's going down and that he has not gone through proper channels, be it architects or the historical society that runs it. What'd you tell me? It was under the Treasury Department? Who? I thought it was Parks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the national parks. So he didn't go through any of the proper channels. So they've put a halt to his construction. I have not seen that in too many places where they're actually reporting that he got pushback on it.
I haven't. That's the first I've heard from it. So that's really interesting.
And it's about time, and it's legit. It makes perfect sense. I can't put a fence up at my house unless somebody comes out and okays it for my township. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we knew a guy who from his local township couldn't put like a pad to park his boat on.
That's right. But if you want
I think he still hasn't gotten it. This has been, you're talking years.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's dangerous. Trump really thinks he can do whatever he wants to do. And he's increasingly out of control. He can't censor his thoughts. He can't resist any of his impulses, and all of his impulses are bad.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I think he's, I don't even want to say fading, but I think when he spoke in front of the joint gathering he had with the Saudis, he just went through his old rendition of everything. Stolen election 2020, greatest hits of all the things he's done in the past. He talked about most jobs ever in our history. Like, people are getting tired of just listening to old stories that weren't even true at the time.
Basketball stories.
Yeah, exactly. Who's he, Michael Keaton?
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
He wishes.
So we come to the point where, people are kind of talking out of their hat and then using both sides of the aisle to do it. And I don't mean politically. I mean, this is, I'm going to go with Gracie Hunt here, because I'm not really understanding. This goes to Bad Bunny as far as the Super Bowl halftime show. This is Gracie Hunt. She's the heiress and granddaughter. This is Clark Hunt's daughter. She's
Nepo.
26. She's an internet personality. She has worked with the NFL since 2012 or 2013. She did women's apparel with the league. Just to do the math, that would make her 13 years old.
What exactly was she doing?
I guess she was helping. We on the sideline, our apparel was probably the worst year with Reebok that one year.
It wasn't great, yeah.
So I think she came in to give some style points. She was in 2021. She was Miss Kansas, and she's basically an heiress. So
and an Nepo baby.
Correct. So she came out today and wanted to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. She really, really, really looks up to Erica Kirk. So, of course, that starts the conversation. There's Erica. She feels that young people are very impressionable and they need somebody to look up to, men and women. This is who she chooses to look up to, which super. Here she is with her dad, which is great. But the comments that were made in the name of religion, I guess, is where I kind of fall off the beam. And I was going to just run a couple things by you. She does support the alternative halftime show, basically feeling that her grandfather, who helped name the Super Bowl, her point was that it was done to make the game accessible to fans of all demographics. And then
as long as they're white and Christian.
Because she said it's about children and family watching together, which sounds really nice in the 50s and such. But then she'll turn around and say the league's responsible to choose a performer that reflects, the league's standing and identity. And at the heart of it, she says the sport is built around family. I've been watching football for a long time. I'm not an heiress to an owner of a team, but I'm just not seeing the connection. Really,
I don't know. It's just those buzzwords they like to use: faith, family.
Well, and she pointed out that the NFL honors women and they honor the military and the country, and they celebrate communities. Yeah, they're getting paid. And then to make a point about Bad Bunny, she says whoever selects the halftime show going forward needs to reflect the values of the NFL more closely. The values in the NFL, they don't take care of these players with CTE. They don't get health care beyond retirement. I think it's 5 years. It used to be 2. Now it's up to 5 years. Where's the responsibility of the league in caring for the people that make the product?
No, they have no responsibility. They don't care about that.
Correct.
That league it's cutthroat. People may not understand what goes behind it, but it's like a tour of the sausage factory. You might like the product, but when you are deep inside it, there's a lot of great things about it. I loved working in the NFL. We had met amazing people, had some amazing experiences, and it's a great thing, but it's a very cold, it's a very harsh business. People come and go. Contracts mainly, even now, aren't guaranteed. Guys go out there and play with things that would put the average person in bed for a couple of days. I mean, it's not a pretty picture.
Well, you say that, and it makes me think of old number 69 before Gene. I don't know if you want to use names, but that guy was one of the happiest people I know. in between practice, he'd go out and take his fishing pole, start fishing out by the ponds and stuff.
Thomas
And
Williams, yeah.
Yeah. And next day he's gone.
He's gone. And you know what? Somebody else is wearing New Jersey, literally.
Yeah, we love Gino.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's just how that business is. It is cold.
Well, they had the same last name, so the equipment staff was pretty happy that was an easy one.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? At that point in training camp, you took it because it was a grind.
For sure. Well, it reminds me of your story about the naming of picking the number 25 or 29 with Eric Dickerson.
Oh yeah.
He got some advice. He picked 25, but then he didn't want it. They're like, that number's slow.
Yeah, his buddy was like, "Why'd you pick that? That's a slow number, man. You don't want 25."
So he called the equipment department in LA, which happened to be Hewitt at that time, and told him he wanted to change his number. And they were like, "I'm sorry, that's not a thing." Which I feel the equipment side of it. You're like, but it's Eric Dickerson. So when he says, "Hey, no name, no number change, I'm not coming,"
yeah,
I think we know he was 29.
They're like, "Okay, done."
Kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. And I don't know if he was talking about Todd or his dad.
Well, they showed Todd's picture, but it had to be Mr. Hewitt, I would guess, no?
I would think so. I mean, what year would that have been? Like, oh man, was it what, like 87?
Maybe coming out.
I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that yeah, it was Hewitt Sr.
Yeah, it had to be.
Then. But you know, I mean, there were guys that thought you and I were the same guys. So, hey, Rosen.
Yeah. Cover one, cover both. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, I won that, that lottery drawing we did on the planes to the away games, and it turned out it was actually you, but Harper just gave it to me, Rosen.
Yeah, I think at that point they might have been embarrassed not to know. I just wanted to continue on just briefly because I'm a little bit torn on the mixed message here that I'm getting. We always state that we're not really religious people, but we can appreciate people's faith of all sects, obviously. So as I'm being lectured about family and football and Bad Bunny being the devil, I've got the same person, Gracie, and Maxim, which, whatever. I'm certainly not a prude, but, here we go. I mean, beautiful woman. That's fantastic. But you sound.
How old was she then?
I'm not sure what year this is. I'd have to look, but you kind of get the point here. That's probably your safest bet on Maxim, but she's looking at a cultural shift with young Americans because she says our generation gets a bad rap, but she's feeling very confident because among young Americans, they're hungry for the deeper why. She said they're hungry for Jesus. November is Global Bible Month and sales are up. I mean, I don't even know where you get a statistic like that.
Yeah.
But she's finding that there's this massive resurgence in young men and women across colleges, campuses that are getting baptized and they're sharing the gospel. Are these the same universities that are liberal universities that we can't stand because they're converting people to be the devil or what?
Yeah, good question. Which universities is she actually looking at? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in her numbers. They might be a bit skewed. But I've seen plenty of creditable studies that say, more young Americans are atheist these days, and less people are going to church. So, consider the source. That's all I can say.
And the mega churches are kind of tough because it's like one size fits all of intolerance. So
yeah, they're creepy, man. It's that's just the prosperity gospel. That's all they care about. God wants you to be rich. I mean, that's what helped put us into the the housing crash in 2008. Get out there and get that more. Don't worry if you can't afford it. God is going to provide. God might provide a dumpster for you to sleep in, but when they come to take that house away, God's not stepping in.
Well, and it's a very similar thing. Like we're told this whole smokescreen of stuff. Like they said, this 20 trillion that they're making all these factories and we're going to do all this manufacturing. And they were like, you'll see it at the beginning of the year. Then it's the middle of next year. Now it's the end of next year. And you're going to be blown away by this. I got a whole room full of computers. I mean, this is Lutnick. I mean, this is people saying about they're talking about the jobs surpassing expectations in September. Again, we're going back to September, but we didn't talk about the million jobs that went away in October, and we're never going to talk about that. But let's move forward. Next year is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the old Soviet Union and their 5-year plan. Well, the next 5-year plan is going to be great. And it sounds a lot like some of the doctrine that some of these Christian churches preach too. Like, yeah, you're living in poverty, times are tough, you have no health insurance, you have no job, your car's been repossessed, your mortgage is due, but in the next life, if you have faith, well, you'll be up there with Jesus in a castle in the sky.
I was hoping for the virgins, but I digress.
No, that's the other side of religion. You got to cross to the other side. Yeah. But you can get that too. All you have to do is blow yourself up and take some people with you.
God. Yeah. We say this all the time. Extremism is extremism, whatever side you're on.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you're on the Palestinian side of extremism or the Israeli side of extremism, you got a problem.
Yeah, it's the same beast, just different colored stripes, whether you're, blowing up a school bus or, you're murdering a family and taking their land because it's ours. Because this book that, says so. Yeah, it's just insane. It really is. And, again, like neither one of us are against religion or faith.
Correct.
But, and I've said this before, and obviously I'm going to say it again.
Please do.
I'm not a Christian, but I can get on board with, the Christian values that this guy who was, a Middle Eastern Jewish hippie said, hey, take care of people, take care of widows and children. Don't make money your God. There was a whole thing in the Bible where he overturned the money changers that were outside of the church. He trashed their tables. I mean, it doesn't get much more simple than that, really. Treat people well, look out for people, be charitable, be kind, be humble. I don't know how they managed to make it so complicated and turn it into a giant fucking industry worth billions, but they did. But, their version of what Christianity and Christ are. And again, they read the Bible, they go to the church, so I'm sure they know what they're talking about.
Well, the Bible says are up as noted by Miss Hunt.
Yeah. It does not jibe with what I understand it to be. But again, what do I know?
I found it funny too, not to jump back to her, but recommending like maybe a country western singer at halftime, which I think people would support. But now you're just going in a weird direction.
Oh, yeah, let's bring in Lee Greenwood to sing "God," proud to be an American, and all of his hits that nobody even cares about anymore, unless you're a complete lunatic.
That would be the shortest halftime show ever. Okay.
Yeah, let's trot out Kid Rock for God's sake. The kids love him. He's a real man of faith. I mean, Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of here with that.
It's just we can all appreciate country music, but I'm just saying, like, you went right to that. You didn't really like. There's no in between.
And again, let's
consider the source.
Well, consider the source, but let's draw the line on what we actually call country music. My idea of country music is, I guess they call it outlaw country music now or something. It's Willie Nelson, it's Johnny Cash, people that Chris Christopherson, people that had compassion and carried a message. And the stuff now, man, it's just pop. It really is. I don't know.
Wasn't that Chris Christopherson? They almost got into the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, because who was it? What was that guy's name? He recently died. Atkins.
Oh, Trent Atkins.
Trace Atkins? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting ready to go on and perform at some benefit. He's like, hey, Chris, don't start with that liberal shit now. He's like, hey, you ever wore the uniform of your country and got a paycheck for killing a man? Because I don't think so, because Chris Christopherson was an Army Ranger, among other things. He was also a Rhodes Scholar. He was also an all-star athlete. Rugby player, just an all-around amazing person, and wrote great songs. But again, that is country music to me. These are people that had a heart and a soul, and they sang about the people that like Johnny Cash said, I'm gonna wear this. I'm the man in black, and I'll wear black until things get better.
Well, and that was once his mom stopped dressing him. Okay. She used to make him clothes. He didn't really care for them, but they were fairly poor, and he was going to wear what Mama told him to wear. Then he was like, you know what? I look good in black.
Yeah,
And
he
he
was
was
the man
all
in
in,
black.
which I think is awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that message resonated as long as it has because there was literally a message to it. We have a lot of pop country now, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not in the
No,
same.
listen to what you like. I'm not the music police,
For
but I'm
sure.
just saying it's not my cup of tea, and it's not really what I consider country. But again, I'm just one guy. What do I know?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your perspective. Absolutely.
Oh, thanks.
I did want
Permanently
to.
banned.
I did want to point out that the Hegseth sent troops into Mexico. He actually dropped him in, but he dropped him inside the country. I don't think that was his intention, but it did start off a little bit of a mess with the Mexican president because you just don't drop American soldiers into Mexico without having that conversation, right?
Where were they trying to drop them?
Well, he dropped him right by the beach, and they were putting some signs up on a Mexican beach declaring that it was restricted by the U.S. And they're like, did you see the drop point? I mean, I think you missed something because you're no longer in your country."
Oh my God, that guy is so incompetent. Again, in case anybody forgets, this is the guy who is putting battle plans over Signal for anybody to see.
That went away, and
Yeah,
the guy that took the heat for it is now an ambassador.
yeah. I mean, it's really hard to fail in this regime. It really is.
Well, because
Uh,
the top guy won't admit to ever being wrong. So even if you are wrong, we can't admit that. Look at me, I'm
I don't know,
perfect,
because
greatest
because
ever.
he's got the ego of a toddler. Everything has to be his way. He's got to be right about everything. Everything's got to be the greatest, the best. He's the smartest. He's the strongest. I mean, Jesus, he thinks he's built like Chris Hemsworth, for God's sake. Thinks they share,
If I took
the
this
same.
shirt off, you'd see the most amazing body, but I have all these scars.
Yeah. Ugh. Your scars are all emotional, buddy.
Unbelievable. I did want to point out that there was some news. We keep talking about the courts, and this has to do with the 2024 election. They expect early next year that there will be some legal activity as far as the counting of votes or not counting of votes in the
Yeah.
2024
I mean,
election.
some of these just do not add up at all. It's
Correct. You didn't vote for the whole under ticket, but didn't vote for a president. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
You could go and vote for a president and nothing else because you don't care, but it doesn't happen the other way around.
I mean, Trump said the quiet part out loud. Oh, that Elon, you'll never have to vote again. He knows the computer. Nobody knows these computers like Elon.
We
He's
thought
gonna.
we were going to lose Pennsylvania, and he said, just wait. And boy, was Elon right.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. I will say this, though. Part of why they released the Epstein files was because they had about 100 GOP members that were going to vote against Trump. Again, he can't have that displayed, that he doesn't have the full support of every sycophant in government.
Except one.
Yeah, except for one. Good point. Peggy.
I'm still here, sir.
But it's building from that because okay, he was okay to release it. Now we're going to do sedition against the Democrats because they should be put to death, whatever. But I will say this: Bondi came out yesterday and she gave the reason why they're not going to release all the Epstein files because they've opened new investigations. And then they asked her about it, and she said, "We have new information. Information has come to us that's new, and it's information." I mean, she must have said information 5 times in one sentence that made no sense to anybody. If you looked at her and Blanche, her assistant and deputy assistant, and then Cash Patel, some people thought it was a hostage situation. It did not look
Cash
good.
Patel just stares straight ahead with as straight as his one eye can go, but looks like clearly a man that does not want to be there. He'd rather be on the private jet with his girlfriend on, your dime.
Correct. That's not going to happen anymore. But my point is that the GOP came out today, a lot of senators warning her, don't slow walk this. Our constituents want the information.
Yeah, they
So
do.
this isn't a Democratic hoax. This is something that needs to be shined a light on. And I think there's enough GOP senators, not to mention members of the House, because that was the big group of 100 that were going to come out against Trump, minimum of 100 House members. This has to come out. This has to be brought forth. So our advice is keep talking, Trump. Keep trying to throw the Democrats. This is Democrat, and hey, expose Democrats. I'm all about it. But I will say this: you're digging your own grave, and people are going to go to jail.
I just wanted to say, and I was trying to look it up real quick. I can't quite find it, but there was an interesting thread that I was looking at earlier today, and I think it wasn't on Blue Sky. It was on the other one. Is it just called Threads? I think it is.
Yeah.
But because some of us have been talking about how they're holding on to these as long as they can so they can scrub every instance of Trump and anybody else they're trying to protect from them. And this was from a former investigator and attorney who has been doing this for a long, long time. He said it's impossible. He said, especially now with, because they're using so much electronic communication with emails and everything, all of these email chains have subchains. Everybody that's on it, that original email is on there. He's like, it is literally impossible to scrub everything. Even if you had, they said they had 1,000 agents working around the clock. He said it can't be done and things will come out.
Yeah.
And he just
it's
said,
really only going to be a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. They're just playing for time. They really are. It's like the ultimate slow walk. Well, it's an active investigation and, got a whole room full of computers working on it.
I don't know he but we'll see. And again, while he has this time, he's going to use his spokesperson, KK Caroline, to continue to bash the Democrats. But bashing the Democrats isn't getting my energy costs down. Bashing the Democrats isn't going to get me a cheaper turkey. Even though Trump made the funny joke that turkeys are down 33%, but he's not talking about the country turkey. Didn't want anybody worried about turkey, but it's way down. It's kind of insane. And then they just keep coming back. So Caroline today is again talking about the 43-day Democratic reckless shutdown. And all it did was prove that America doesn't need a federal Department of Education. I mean, how are you tying these things together? We need education. What makes us as people? Why does Trump come out there and say, hey, we needed people at the battery factory because you're a bunch of dummies? Why is he bringing the smarter people to work where he wants type of thing? And the businesses that grease him, it doesn't make any sense. And he's calling you a dummy to your face. When he talks in front of the Saudis, which he's never happier than when he's around MBS. I mean, he made that snake face lip tongue thing, which was really bizarre and off-putting, talking about deductions. Oh, everybody in this room knows about deductions, but the average American doesn't have deductions. They don't know anything. Like, what? All of a sudden, we've all lost our minds. We don't know anything. We got no education. I don't understand.
Yeah, it just shows the lack of respect he has for anybody that's not in his little inner circle.
You make a great point, and it is. It does come down to respect. It comes down to empathy. It comes down to care. All the things that he can't really muster is that what we've been living in. And I think, I think we're better people than that. And I think that's really
we are. And I think it's time that we showed that. And, this has gone on for way, way too long. And we'll see how it plays out. But he seems to really be panicking now. He's running in panic mode. And the quicker he loses his mind, the better.
And the better news to that point is that the people around him, and not necessarily in his the Stephen Millers, etc. Though Nick Fuentes went after Stephen Miller, which is like, whoa, what's happening here? But the people on the outskirts are not supporting a lot of this policy. And there is some slow walking or pushback. And then the people that are in his inner circle are worried about jail time. We know what happened to Nixon's attorney general. I've seen the mugshot. You go to jail.
Yeah, they should be worried about it. So, and yeah, Nick, you mentioned Nick Fuentes. That guy's dangerous. I guess he's, trying to step up and fill the vacuum that Charlie Kirk left behind. And I don't think there was any love lost between those two.
There was not
at the time of Charlie Kirk's murder. But yeah, he that dude is dangerous. He is a full-on hater, white nationalist, and
for sure.
The only reason he's probably going after Stephen Miller is because he's Jewish.
I think he doesn't like the direction of what the GOP is doing, other than getting rid of illegals. Because I don't know that he would be part of the plan either, right? It's not really going to help the younger Americans out there what these policies are being put forth.
Well, and we're in just such a weird place that now you're seeing so many of these young men that are following this guy, the Groypers. I mean, you saw it in some of them that are not so young with their little, those fat fucks from the GOP that, their little text change. I love Hitler. Oh, rape's awesome. Like
some of those guys were 40.
Yeah. But it's a generation of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's because, they feel left out, they feel passed over, they feel put upon. And, you're seeing that window closing. Now, some of these guys, it's just because they lost their white privilege or their white male privilege. Other people are working harder. They outworked you. They, made the effort to make themselves better instead of sitting around waiting for it.
But with all that hate, you're not going to pay your electric bill. And these policies that they're putting forth are not going to help the haters either. They're not, they're only enriching themselves.
Yeah. But, they love that hate. They feed on it. They like to, be in their little, chat groups or whatever they do.
Well, maybe they can start hating those that are wearing a red hat that don't support their hate completely. I did see Walmart was selling those "Make America Great" hats for 99 cents. They're having trouble getting rid of a lot of this product. There's video of people going into the SNAP offices. The majority of the people in there are white. And then they're asking them, hey, how did you vote? And if you did vote that way, put the hat on. Why don't you come sit in this office asking for a handout with your hat on?
Yeah.
They're just not that bold. And I think the message resonates, and I think they're starting to understand. The majority of us aren't giant haters. So get on board or get out of the way.
Yeah. It's like the ending of Inglourious Bastards, where Brad Pitt carves a swastika in Hans Landa's forehead. Yeah, you got your deal. You're going to have your nice little house and you're going to, live in the United States.
Take off your SS outfit.
You get to take off your SS outfit, but I'm going to give you something that you can't take off. And he carved a swastika in his forehead. So yeah, wear that red hat. Wear it in like a fucking hair shirt.
Wear it with pride, boy. I know I'm a little over on our time. I don't necessarily have a happy ending. My Penguins haven't played all week since they got back from Sweden. Do you have anything?
Let's see. I think, do they play tonight or tomorrow night? Maybe it's tomorrow night. They play Minnesota.
Yeah, they play Friday.
But one of their high draft picks, who's gotten a little bit older, is they brought him up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's good to see this kid's going to get a chance, and they actually have a plan for him now. That step by step. I guess he's been through some hard times, had some issues.
Yeah, I think he had to take time off. In fact, he was having personal issues. So
yeah, anxiety, stress. I mean, playing in any professional league is very stressful.
For sure.
So it's good that he got the help he needed, but the organization's got a plan. They haven't just discarded him. They aren't going to, bring him up and work with him and, hopefully get him and his career back on track, and he'll be a big asset to them.
He's going to be on that third line with Kendall. And I feel that you're right. The support he's gotten from the organization, they easily could have gotten rid of him 4 years ago. Easily. He really didn't perform. But he had issues, and they did stand by him. So I hope he does come out and he is successful. He seems to appreciate the support of the organization and the coaching staff in this particular instance. And yeah, that would be a happy ending for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, and I like this new coaching staff. I think they are, open to playing young players, open to developing them. I think they really needed that. I think they were very stale. I think Mike Sullivan probably only talked to his big three and didn't really care about anybody else. And I think
we appreciate all Sully did. For sure, but it was time.
Absolutely. Won back-to-back cups. He was the right man at the job. And he just, the game changes, the league changes, and you can't play, in 16 and 17, they were the fastest team in the league. But when you're not the fastest team anymore and everybody else is copying your style, you can't continue to play that and hope for the best. And you're seeing the results in New York.
For sure.
With the Rangers now.
Yeah. Well, and they have a pretty good payroll, so we'll see if they can bounce back. Wishing no ill will to Coach Sully, but I do like Dan Muse. I think he's done a great job with the Penguins so far. Let's keep more of that. So we'll use that as the happy ending. And
there you go. That'll work.
Friday and a Thursday, Billy, so I'll hope to catch up with you.
Count on it.
All right. Sounds like a deal. All right.
What? Huh? You broke up there.
closing music.
There we go. I like it.
Similar but different. We'll see if we get any feedback. Anyway, I appreciate your time as always. Good talking.
You too. Great job.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
All right. See ya.